Hello and welcome to the London Bulls podcast with me, Tom, and of course my good friend KD. KD, how are you, mate? Are you
I'm
well?
feeling amazing. It's been a
Yeah,
while actually, so I'm really happy to
that's
see you again after a long
yeah.
time. We do apologize about there not being a pod last week. The reason was because there was a big event, wasn't there?
Yes, you could say that. You could say that. We had our Christmas party, London Bulls Christmas party, which was fantastic, wasn't it? What a great night we had. I think it was around sort of 35, 40 there, um, including the club chairman, Chris Ammonds, who was fantastic, as I'm sure you'll agree, and Mr. Ricky George.
Yeah, two big names that came to our party, and we're really, really grateful for them coming along. And technically, we did kind of do a live podcast in a way. It was really nice us both being up there interviewing both of those guys. Really amazing experience for us. And who knows, maybe we'll have more events similar to that in the future. A live
Yeah.
Q&A with different people from the past and current team. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, how do you think it went? How uh, how do you think the event was?
I actually felt quite emotional, to be honest. It was unbelievable the amount of effort our working group have put in
Mm.
to putting that event on. In a way, it kind of feels sad because it went so quickly, and this event has taken months, a lot of sleepless nights
Yeah,
to put on, and yeah, it just went really quick. But what was really amazing was the feedback we got. I mean, so many people loved the night, and they were really happy about the community we built.
hmm
Really, a lot of people making new friends as well, which is really amazing to
yeah,
see, and really good for Stig to mingle with new fans, right? That he probably hasn't come across before.
yeah. I think you're right. I think that's one of the things really that was so special about that night was that that sort of select group of people who obviously London Bulls come to the Christmas party were able to chat with the club chairman and ask him questions and talk to him, one to one on a real personal level and get to know him. And the same with Ricky, Ricky was talking to everybody. It was so good. He needn't have done anything. He could have just turned up, spoken to us and gone home, but he didn't.
Mm.
And that was what was just so amazing about that. He was such a nice guy,
Oh, it was
really
unbelievable.
humble. Just so
Even
surprised that we had invited him.
when we contacted him to come along, he got really emotional about it. Actually,
Mm,
he was
mm,
really, really touched by it. Like, I don't. He's obviously maybe done stuff with the London Bulls previously, but it really meant a lot to him, which was really nice. And you could
mhm.
see it in his face when he was talking about experiences, with Ronnie Radford and that team from 1972. It was all kind of coming back to him, and he probably hasn't done this in a while, actually. I
Mhm.
think he's come to a few events when there's been anniversary dinners and stuff in Hereford, but I think it's really nice, and that shows a role we have as well as a
Mm.
community. Like we can, connect with former players and get them involved with us as well in different
Mhm.
guises. So yeah, really, really amazing experience.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe run through what we did on the night in terms of like what other things happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, there was a little bit of setting up to do. That was, getting all the shirts up and getting we put flags up and scarves up. I mean, that was quite funny, really. We were there for like 2.5 hours, and it really took us that long to set the room up. But the funniest thing was you spent all this time putting these flags and scarves up with this tape, right? And it looked like it worked. You did a really good job. It was all really intricate. You had all these things going across. You had a few bits of tape going down. You really tried. And then all of a sudden, you just looked round, and there's the flags just flapping down, the scarf's falling on the floor, and it was like, oh my, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna solve this? And typical me comes to the rescue with his masking tape, which which worked, but that was the thing is we had to do that twice. The microphones didn't work, and it was just all this stuff. There was just so much going on, wasn't there? It was hectic.
So that's a really good point, actually. It was actually getting a bit stressful. We also had to set up like the Sum Up app, which enables you to pay for things on some of the working group
Yeah,
members' phones so they could take payments. We had a couple of the speakers, that were quite late. They hadn't arrived
yeah,
at the start time. So it was really, really kind of stressful for our first event. But I think what you can get out of that is a lot of resilience and experience. So
mm.
I think
Oh yeah,
that was really good for us in terms of like learning curves with how we run events in the future. But
yeah,
yeah, that was a bit of a whack-a-mole situation with the scars and flags falling over. And thank you for getting
yeah.
masking tape. That was so annoying. I'd hang something up and behind me it'd fall again. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really annoying. But we also had another former Bull there, and what who came
Mhm.
along. He used to work for the Football Supporters Association, doing work at the FA now, and the work he did there enabled us to basically fund this event. So it was really nice to hear from him. He came along too. He talked about his memories of Graham Turner, didn't he? And
Mhm.
that squad, I think it was 2003, he played with. And he had a really good memory, actually. He remembered some of the players like Greener and stuff and Purdy, and he was
Yeah.
really impressed with the squad we had at that time.
Mm. Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously he was young at the time. We had a young squad. I think he probably just, fitted in. It's interesting, isn't it? I can't remember how many games he played for us now. Is it 6 or 9? Maybe 9. Um, but he just talked so fondly about his time at Hereford, which was fantastic to hear. Again, really nice guy, and it was great to hear about what he's up to, but also his memories, as you say. And obviously we had Hannah um, come and talk to us as well from the FSA in her role, diversity for fans, and you know, again, just so passionate and so like they were just it's just lovely people. It really, when we were talking to them sort of after, it was lovely, wasn't it? It was great.
Yeah, I mean, they even helped us fund our first ever stream, actually.
Mm.
That commercial license we always talk about in that
Yeah.
Marylebone bar. They actually paid for that because we literally didn't have any money when we first started.
Hmm.
There was just a few of us, and then they were really good with that, and they've seen us grow and helped us develop. And they were so impressed with the event, they actually said they'd love to keep helping in any way they can in the future. So we'll see what we can do with them
Yeah.
going forward. And also, there's raffle prizes, right? It's really good to see Stig and Ricky George hand some of the prizes that people got a few.
Yeah.
I think your mum actually won something as well, didn't she?
Yeah. She won a book. And then I won. I won a signed Ryan Green print. So that was I was ecstatic with that actually. Just need to hang it up now. Just need to find somewhere to to put it. But no, as you say, it was a great night for that. We sold 600 raffle tickets, which is just crazy. Um,
$600.
and that will help
That's
us
incredible.
to obviously put streams on. It'll help us to put events on. And obviously it'll help us to put things on to help the club and to help raise money for the club, and that's what we want to try and do, isn't it? But we're so grateful to everyone who gave prizes as well, donated a prize, because yeah, it it made it a great night.
Oh yeah, definitely. We promised also Tom didn't tamper with the raffle tickets, hence his mum winning. It was
Much.
a bit of a set blatter moment, that wasn't it?
It
Very
was
nice
a
mug
little
there as
bit.
well, Tom.
Hmm.
Very nice bit of merch there. If you
Yeah.
some mugs, good stocking filler they are. Actually, the best mug I've ever had, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I won't drink my tea or coffee out of anything else. So yeah, I
They
think it
are
even
quite
tastes
nice.
better with it, actually, doesn't it?
Looks good, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Something I've realized, the whole night hasn't sunk in, and I've actually had to kind of sit down with a pen and paper and to really reflect on the last year. And
Yeah.
I think, this is actually our last pod of 2024, and it's maybe good to reflect on what's happened over the last 12 months. And,
Mm.
we want to say a massive thank you as well for enabling us to achieve all this, because without you, the fans, this would never have happened. I mean, first, why don't we touch on this? Coming second in the non-league Bible Awards. That wasn't bad, was it?
That was that was ridiculous. To be nominated was, you hear people say this all the time. Oh, just to be nominated, but really and truly, we mean it. Like it was just unreal to be. I think it was 7 months at the time we'd been going for when we got nominated. And again, so grateful to everyone who voted for that. Got a second. It was only Scunthorpe that beat us, and hopefully they don't on Saturday. So, it's that was crazy. I think when you think about obviously the award, um, but what we were able to do as well, like being able to sponsor Matt Preston, you know, that was something that we almost joked about really when we first said it, if you remember, like crazy.
Oh yeah, and that's what we also are set up to do, right? We're set up to help the club. We want to try and support them financially as well. And we actually got to Matt Preston. We got to meet him at our hospitality event we did against Marine, which was really cool. So he made the time to come up, chat with us. I think he ended up being late for the team talk actually, so he might be in trouble. But
Yeah.
that's been another way we've been able to support is doing our first ever hospitality table. We will be doing one against Scunthorpe actually on the last day of the season. So you are more than welcome to come along. If you do want to come, do let me know and we can put you on the table.
Yeah, yeah. No, that'd be a good day. We had a fantastic time before. And again, as you say, that's the type of thing that we want to keep doing. Really, is helping the club. That's what this is all about. It really is. Uh, I think it's obviously difficult for us to get back to many games.
Mhm.
So one of the ways that we can support from afar is by having our screenings. We had three this year. Hope to have more next year. We had great numbers for all of them, and you never know, do you, when you set these things up, whether anyone's actually going to turn up. So it was quite good that first one where people did.
Yeah, it's actually kind of frightening to be honest, because each time the numbers get higher. I
Mm,
think when we did our first one, there was 12, the second one, there was 18, and then
mm,
third one, there was 40, and you're like,
yeah.
what the hell? So that we sadly were going to screen the Scarborough game, and we were on course to break that record actually. But
Yeah.
you may have seen National League TV have been bought up by DAZN as well, so we are in the process of trying to work that out in terms of commercial licenses. But amazing that we're able to screen three games in central London. But also, what people might not know about is our WhatsApp group.
Mm.
That's been really thriving, hasn't it, Tom?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great chat. It's interesting. There's talk of all sorts, and there's the odd rumor that flies around in there as well now, in terms of players and where they might be going. And I definitely didn't fan any flames for that either. Tamworth. So, yeah, but you're right, and it is, and it's one of the big things for us is about um creating that community. Creating a space for everyone that they feel like they can contribute to something, and they can, in that chat or whatever. And I think for us it's so important that we have something like that WhatsApp group, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the way you can join our WhatsApp group is signing up to our membership, where we now have over 70 London
Mm,
Bulls that have signed up, which is absolutely nuts. You're more
yeah.
than welcome to sign up whether you live in London or not. Please do just sign up on our form, which will be in our link below, and we can add you into the WhatsApp group.
Hmm.
Also, something in terms of community that's been really important is the working group we developed. So, these events don't just pop out of nowhere. We have a committed team of 6 people that meet monthly, maybe even more than that sometimes virtually, to look at the year ahead, look at planning events, and they give up a lot of their time and hours to make sure everything like the podcast and the Christmas party are successful. So
Mm.
that has been a real joy actually. And we'll hope to maybe even expand at some point as we'd like to grow in different areas. And if you think you'd be interested in supporting us or working with us and would like to volunteer, do get in touch and let us know if you'd like to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's sort of, as you say, that's sort of the next steps really, to maybe be able to have people dedicated to um organizing the events and sorting stuff out like that, be quite good. Someone who maybe has done it before, or someone who's willing to sort of learn. So yeah, as you say, absolutely get in contact, and we'd love to do it. Obviously, we've got our merch as well, mate, which as I just showed. But you know, I do love this mug. We got pens, we got key rings, But any other ideas, anything else you think that you would like to have London Bulls, then let us know.
Tom has got this library of different things he's worked on over the last year. Some really interesting merch in there as well, actually. That I think would
Yeah,
be
all sorts of random, you
yeah.
know,
Um,
stickers, bumper stickers. I got a baby's bib at one point. We're gonna
yeah.
buy that. I mean, we've got a baby.
As we said, a lot of work has gone into the last year, and we did want to give a few thank yous for a few people for the Christmas party and just generally the last year. The first was for the key guests of the night, so Anwar, the FFA, Ricky George, and Stig for their effort coming up on stage, speaking in front of everyone, really being candid and just honest, and
Mm,
really good to hear from all of them. And we want to thank them for giving up their time.
mm. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with that. I think it's important to thank everyone who's given us any support over this last year. Yes, the fans, but as we said before, the FSA with funding some of the streams and funding the Christmas party, and yeah, their guidance as well. I think it'd be great to thank the Carlisle United London Supporters Group, who we were in contact with in the early days, and when I met them, went to one of their screenings, and they were so helpful they sent stuff over to us and to help us get going really with sort of constitutions and things like that. So, and let us know about certain groups that are out there that we could be a part of, affiliated with, and you know, um, yeah, they were fantastic as well.
Yeah, they've been unbelievable. The FSA network have helped connect us to so many good groups, like Carlisle, who's shown us the ropes early on. Actually, we've been able to get in contact now with Scunthorpe's London group, actually. So who knows, we may have a fans five-a-side at some point before the end of the season. Also wanted to thank everyone that, as you mentioned, sponsored the evening. Also, a big shout out to Rob Ferguson. I mean, what an
Mm.
amazing man.
Yeah.
He paid for a few people's tickets actually, and did a really nice donation for Ricky George's drinks. And Ricky George was really, really grateful and touched by that. So thank you, Rob. Thank you for everything you've done, and for everyone else that has donated towards us over the last year. Ultimately, as well, to our working group. I know we've just touched on them, but Jamie, Joe Clements, Stu Matthews, Alan Layton, absolutely unbelievable people who work so hard behind the scenes. And if you are coming up to Scunthorpe this Saturday, please do come over. You'll see a few of us there, and you can say hello.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the fans. Thank you to everyone who's come to anything, spoken to us over this last year, made us feel like you know, it's all been worthwhile, and it really has felt like that. And yeah, here's to a good 2025, really.
Absolutely.
Um,
And hopefully
but there
there
you
will
go.
be a solid playoff push, we hope. And
Yes.
that leads us up nicely into touching on the last few games,
Mm,
reflecting on what's been happening. There's been just loads of postponements, hasn't there? There were at one point no games happening, but now there's loads.
mm,
Um, why don't we start with that Scarborough game, actually? As we said, we did initially want to screen that, didn't we?
mm. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, that was disappointing. That it got called off because it's always going to be late in the day, but um, it was set up to be a really good game and everything, and we we got the venue and we got everything sorted. We got ourselves organised, but obviously, look, it got called off. Nothing you could do about that. But it was rearranged, and of course we played them last night. So nice
Yes,
little
we
win.
did. Yeah, and then you sadly had the experience in you with that postponement against Meadow Market, but you still
Mm.
made a great day of it, didn't you?
Yeah, so I got to Liverpool Street Station and it got called off, and I was like, what do I do now then? I'd already got my ticket, and I thought, do I just go home? Which in hindsight I probably should have done because I actually ended up going to Ipswich um, with another London Bull, Matt Layton, and we had a great day. Don't get me wrong, we had a good day. Went to Portman Road, put the flag up outside. Um, the guy that we asked to take the photo was a little bit confused at what was going on because it wasn't a flag like of Hereford, it was obviously the London Bulls flag, so it must have been really, really random for him. But fair dues, he took the photo. It was a good photo. Um, and then we just sort of went to a couple of pubs and we thought about going to watch Ipswich Wanderers, but we decided against it when we saw it was raining. We thought, no point, no point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad you made the most of it, to be honest. It can be so disheartening when a game's called off that late as well. I mean, considering the
Wasn't
distances
it?
a lot of people travel from Hereford for, really disappointing. A lot of people have to turn around, and it seems to happen quite a lot. This doesn't it?
Mm,
Maybe they could have made the decision a day earlier. I don't really know. I think that's when they could only find a referee by actually,
mm,
but it's just a shame that it's always kind of left this late sometimes.
yeah,
Why don't we touch on the really good 3-0 win against Russell?
yeah. Well, I think this is the thing. This is the sort of scoreline that we should be doing against these sorts of sides. Rushall have been struggling, obviously, and we've been great, but we've just struggled a little bit at home, and now all of a sudden we've got the fourth best home record in the league. How did that happen? You know, um, no, look, it was a good game. Obviously, we did do very well. It's great to get a clean sheet. It's good to score 3 goals. And we had the new lads getting some goals, which was great to see. I think they played well, so it's positive, isn't it?
Yeah, three debutants actually. Interesting, Declan McGlynn from the USA. Caddis wasn't lying when he said he was looking further afield. So what was really interesting, actually, I think the opposition had no chance of knowing anything about the guy. There's nothing about him online, so we didn't know how he plays, what his stats were. I think he might have been from Seattle University, actually. But he made a really good impact, actually. He looks really, really good, doesn't he? And really good to see
Mhm.
Jaden White as well. And Dylan Mitchell, they look really good players and really good signings. And it was a good comeback, actually, from that Brentwood shock, wasn't it?
Mm.
I think that was the previous game before that. But I think it was actually quite a tough game. It seems like I know 3-0. I think 3-0 might have flattered us a bit, but I think two of those goals came in injury time. So
Mhm.
it looked like it was quite a tough match actually up until then. But over the line with that, 3 points, clean sheet, and three goals.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we controlled the game enough. I don't think we were ever at fear of not winning it. But it's one of those things where you get two goals in added time. Yeah, makes the scoreline look a little bit better. But that's what we need to be doing. We can't stop playing just because 90 minutes have happened. It's good that we kept on going and got those two goals. I think that's really important. Um, you know, it's it does feel a little bit more positive. Obviously, the last couple of games have helped with that Saturday and Tuesday's game, because we were looking a little bit shaky. But this league's so tight, isn't it? Like there's nothing in it. And that's obviously okay. We've had those three wins, but we could be in the playoffs as quickly as we're out of them, you know, because of how tight it is and how well everyone seems to be beating everyone. It's very odd.
Yeah, there's no consistency at all, is there? No one seems
Yeah,
to be kind of taking a hold at the summit, really. So it looks
yeah,
like it's open for anyone. Hopefully, we can get a bit of consistency and really cement our place in the playoffs. But yeah, really good win that. And then obviously we moved on to the game against Darlington, which sadly, we didn't pick anything up from there, did we?
yeah. No, I think from what I gather, we played well. We actually played all right, but we just gave away two stupid goals that we shouldn't have conceded, and that was it. You know,
Yeah,
um, I think something that I think you've noted is that obviously a lot of disruption with these games being called off, and then I'm sure training probably didn't happen one of the nights, and it's all very you're sort of getting ready for a game, and then all of a sudden it's not going to happen, and you've only got two sessions anyway at most in a week. And obviously with all these sort of Saturday, Tuesday games, that's all that training. It's not going to happen on Tuesdays, is it? So it must have been very difficult at that time, and no wonder we were very sort of up and down with how we played or certainly our form anyway. But it is a shame that we lost to Darlington. I think it's
yeah,
always tough up there, isn't it?
it really is. And I don't think we've actually picked up points in our last four encounters with them over the last decade, actually, which is
Mm,
a shame. They seem to be a bit of a bogey side for us up there. And as you said, we probably had some people working in the morning and then traveling up to Darlington in the
mm,
afternoon. We
mm,
often forget that, don't we? Like how much effort the players put in this division. But really good to see Declan McGlynn get that goal. As we said, Darlington probably had nothing on the guy, didn't know anything
mhm,
about him, and that probably worked in our favour actually. And yeah, as you said, two silly mistakes. But I was really gutted about us not getting that penalty because I was watching it on Dazen and I actually thought it looked like a penalty when Jason Cowley, I think it might have
mhm,
been Jason Cowley,
mm,
got fouled in the box. But the referee deemed it was just outside, which was a shame. And it's moments like
yeah.
that, isn't it? It changes the game. And
Yeah, no, you're right, mate. We get that penalty and stick it away, and who knows? It can change a game without a shadow. I think it was scrappy, and I think this has been our problem is we just don't. Sometimes the tactics just seem very odd. I don't know if there are times when we've got no disrespect to Kaylee, he's not the tallest person in the world. When trying to lump it up to him. Well, how's that going to work? When you've got these big defenders, because all defenders in National League North seem to be big. That's it's something we've commented on before with Matt Preston and Carl Hawkins. Obviously they're for the first time really in since we've been in this league, we've got big, strong, tall defenders, or two of them, at centre back, and that I think is one of the reasons why we're doing so much better. But it's also a reason why we shouldn't be lumping the ball up the pitch to
Yeah.
Cayley, and Cayley's very good with his feet, so why wouldn't you try and play him in?
Yeah, absolutely. As talking about tall people, actually, our number one seems to be missing at the moment. The tallest keeper ever, I think, at Edgar Street. Maybe I think second or tallest keeper in the country actually at the moment. But good to see Tom Donaghy's loan extended. He's looked really kind of solid, doesn't he? He looks like a good keeper. And we've seen Cosmos Machwasa leave. Probably unsurprising actually in a way. He seemed like he wasn't really getting many minutes, but he did
Mm.
look kind of useful and good when he did come on.
Mm.
And we wish him all the best. He's gone to Alfreton, so we will probably see him again very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, he was a useful player to have come off the bench. I thought he played okay when he played. Did his job. But yeah, look, if we needed to make some space, I'd imagine probably for these other lads to come in. And coupled with the fact he wasn't getting the minutes, at least he's still in this league. I think that's good for him. And yeah, really wish him well. I hope he does well, just not against us.
You wouldn't want to mess with him at night, would you, like
No,
in a fight? Because he's got some big guns, that guy. His
certainly hasn't.
biceps are as wide as my waist.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But yeah, unfortunate with the Darlington defeat, but then what a fantastic comeback against Chorley.
Hmm.
What a result that was. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely unbelievable that. I mean, they were third before kickoff that day.
Mm.
I think you went up to the Chorley 1-1 game, didn't you, in
Yeah.
August? And they
Yeah.
looked a really good outfit there, didn't they?
They
But
did. Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And see,
Mm.
good to see Cisse. I think he flicked it in the goal or backheeled it, I think. I couldn't
Yeah.
count the highlights, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely, mate. I think, yeah, all right, it's a little bit scrappy, but I wasn't at the home game, but I was listening on the radio on Radio Hereford FC, and we seemed like we had a lot of the ball, a lot of the chances. To me, it sounded like we controlled the game. Now, people who were there would maybe disagree, and if you listen to the Chorley manager's post-match interview, you'd think that they should have been about 8-0 up at half time. But yeah, I don't think to me, they might have had one or two chances, and maybe they should have stuck one of them away. But really, they had nothing concrete, and I think they had a lot more of the ball in the second half, as we sort of sat back a little bit to try and hold on, really. But they just did nothing with it, and they made it easy for us to defend that lead. I always want a second goal just to make it that little bit more comfortable. But so that when you're listening or watching, it's you're not worried every time you hear Keith Hall get excited because someone's bearing down on goal. It's like, oh no. So, but no, look, as you say, what a win against one of the top sides.
It is also very classic us, isn't it? You beat Chorley, but you lose to Needham Market.
Hmm.
This,
Hmm.
it just shows how crazy this league is, right? You never know what's going to happen on the day. But
Yeah.
yeah, really controlled the game. Fantastic result.
Mm.
And it looks like it was a kind of a similar game last night, actually, against Scarborough. Same result, 1-1
Mm.
nil.
Mm.
And good to see Jaden White get on the score sheet again. He's looked a really good signing, isn't he?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yes, absolutely. Now I can see why they wanted him. He's started really well. I think it it seems like it was a bit of an odd game last night. I think Scarborough came and tried to tried to win, which that sounds stupid, but they didn't just sit back and try and um, go for a draw or whatever. They wanted to win, and I think they did a good job. Obviously, it didn't happen, but which I'm glad about. But they made it tough for us, and I'm glad that we got the win in that type of game because these are the tough games. We talk about the Chorley game, and yeah, it's tough because of who they are and what they're about. But Scarborough is going to be just as tough because those sorts of teams make it tough for you.
Yeah. And fair play to all their fans that came. Actually, tough place to come on a Tuesday night and very
Mm.
far away.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and our fans, there's over 2,000 there, which is just
yeah,
crazy on a Tuesday night.
just before
So
Christmas as well. We know how tough the cost of things is at the moment. So well done to all of you that have been able to go to games. Good to see Tate Campbell back as well.
Yeah.
after his suspension. Good to see him on the bench. And yeah, as you said, it was a pretty hairy 7 minutes towards the end. They were getting the keeper up and everything as well, trying to nick something. So really pleased we kind of weathered the storm with that, and really has kind of put us in a really nice position before the Christmas period now.
Mm.
Two really tough games coming up against Scunthorpe and Kidderminster. How do you feel about Saturday?
Yeah, look, it's gonna be tough. It doesn't matter how Scunthorpe's form is. It's somewhere we've obviously it's a team we struggle against. Um, it's hard to call actually. It's really hard to call because we're doing okay. We're doing well. We're getting through games. We're getting wins. Obviously, they're a bit up and down with their form. They have won recently, but on Saturday, but uh, they're yeah, they're just so they're a bit of an unknown now.
Yeah,
You don't really know what you're going to get, and you don't know what you're going to get from us. So, it's going to be. I think it'll be a good game, though. It could be a really good game.
I really will. They've got a bit of an aura about them, Scunthorpe, haven't they? I mean,
Mm,
they shouldn't be in this league at all, to be honest with you.
hmm
I
hmm
literally remember when they were in the championship not that long ago. So, and we obviously had those two defeats last season where the scoreline probably didn't reflect the performances actually. Um, but they did us over home and away, and going up to their stadium as well. It's got that proper football league feel. I think they
hmm
had around 5,000 last season, so it'll be a really good atmosphere Saturday.
hmm
They're the top scorers in the division as well with 35 goals, and as you said, I think there could be a lot of goals actually. Who knows? But very inconsistent though. They have drawn at Alfreton 0-0, drew at Darlington, but then they lost to Warrington Rylands in the FA Trophy 2-1 at home. So it shows they are beatable.
hmm
And we
hmm
have nothing to fear, to be honest, going up there.
Yeah, yeah. I think if you sort of looked at the fixture list, obviously there's been games rearranged, but if you think about forget last night, but we've got Chorley, Scunthorpe, and then Kiddie. Yeah, that's a hell of a tough run.
Yeah,
And if you said, oh, how many points, if we can get three draws out of that, be amazing. Or get a win against Kiddie or something. But obviously we've got 3 points already. If we can get another 3 points on Saturday, it's
we
gonna
beat up on
be
Scunthorpe, actually.
gonna be exciting.
We actually
Yeah.
overtake them in the table, which is very surreal. And you did mention Kidderminster, the big Boxing Day game. That'll be an amazing atmosphere. That'll probably sell out as well. I think they've got an allocation of 700 and they've already sold 300 so far. Um, They are on a good run of form at the moment. They beat Radcliffe 4-0 on Saturday. They drew 2-2 at Fylde, but then beat them on penalties, obviously Fylde in the league above in the FA Trophy, and then beat Leamington 1-0 before that. So they seem to be on a good run of form. So it looks like it'll be a really good game, that one.
hmm Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always a good game, that Boxing Day game. Obviously we've had Gloucester in the past few years and Kiddie before that. And so, it's always a good one. Good atmosphere. And it's one for all the fans to enjoy. And we've got a great chance. So let's do it. Let's go for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then obviously, we start the new year with Leamington away.
hmm
Um, I mean, they're not doing very well at the moment. I think they've
hmm
lost the last 5 games in a row. So that's good for
mm
us, actually. But we should be going out expecting to win, shouldn't we?
We should, but again, it's been a tough place to go for us,
Yeah, that's
in the
yeah,
past. But again, it's different season. Obviously, as you say, they're on a bad run at the moment. Um, but uh, but yeah, it's just these, it's like Buxton or it's just tough places to go.
yeah.
And so I think, yeah, you expect to win. You expect to win, especially the way we're playing at the moment. I think the new lads coming in and it's given us a bit more energy and a bit more sort of flair and something about us. And you've got to be I think you've got to be positive about it, mate. Come on.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, if we can get some good results over this period, that'll put us in a really amazing position. There's not that much between
hmm
us and the top, to be honest. Who knows where we'll be on the 1st of January after all these games. But yeah,
Yeah.
looking really, really forward to it. Um, really good reflections there. In terms of upcoming London Bulls stuff, we just want to touch on the game against Peterborough Sports. at the end of January, we will be going up to that. So if you would like to join us, please do come along. It's not that terrible to get to. It's about an hour from King's Cross and then a bit of a walk, but you are more than welcome to join us. A few of our working group will be up there. And we will also let you know about any future screenings. So Dazzlen haven't announced any more screenings so far beyond the 1st of January. So once they are confirmed, we will try and put another event on for you as and when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be exciting. Well, before we move on to the last item on the agenda, what are your score predictions for these upcoming games, mate? So Scunthorpe on Saturday, what do you think?
Oh, mate, I'll be delighted with a point. If I reckon it'll be 1-1, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go on with 1-1. I think both teams will score because we've both been scoring. So I think it's there, and we've both got pretty decent defenses, but yeah, I think 1-1's a fair result.
The kiddie game, I reckon 2-1 to us.
Okay.
I reckon we'll just pick them.
5-0. All right.
It's not as bad as me, mate.
So there you go. 5-0 to us against Kiddie.
Why'd you say 5?
I just think Phil Brown's going to get it wrong. You know,
I'm
he's
surprised that.
he makes some dodgy decisions sometimes, and I think he's going to make some bad ones on Boxing Day. I really do.
I'm with you with that. Hopefully, we can win 5-0. I'll be absolutely delighted. You'd put a £10 bet on that. You'd be a very rich
Should
man if
Gonna.
that happens. The game against Leamington, this is a tough one. I think it's actually going to be 0-0. I know I said we should expect to win, but it's always a bit of a weird one during the Christmas break because players are
Hmm.
tired and stuff.
Hmm.
So I reckon it'll be 0-0.
Yeah. 8-1. No. I think we'll nick a 1-0 win. That's where I
Yeah.
see it. I think it'll be it won't be a good game of football. I was trying to choose my words then. Um, but yeah, I don't think it'll be attractive football, but I think we'll nick a 1-0 and send us all home happy.
Well, I'll take that, Tom. If all those results do happen, it would look like a very rosy start to the new year.
So yeah, well, obviously memory corner we're gonna have a little wander into now, mate. Um, you've chosen this today. Um, with our opposition on Saturday in mind. Um, what game have you chosen? What have you gone with?
Yeah, so last night I had the privilege of just jumping on the Iron Hour podcast, the guys that picked us to the Non-League Bible First Place Award. And it was actually a really nice kind of chat, actually. And you'll be able to see that. We might be able to put that in the link below if it's out by then. But we are actually reminiscing about past games between Hereford and Scunthorpe. And we were talking about the Coca-Cola League One game in 2008, where we lost 2-1 at Edgar Street. And the reason we were talking about that is because of a certain Gary Hooper. And also, because bizarrely, we're both in the third division then, and now we're in the sixth. So it's been an interesting journey, hasn't it?
Hmm.
In regard to that. Do you have any particular memories of it?
Um, no, I was there. Uh, I just can't really remember much about it. But yeah, I think obviously it wasn't a great season for us, was it? And you've got to question whether if we'd have signed Gary Hooper and maybe been able to keep Wayne Brown in goal, or even had Matt Murray fit, not injured him. What we would have done, how we would have done if we'd have had that goal scorer, whether we'd have stayed up or not, I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? It was a bit of a jigsaw squad that we had that season, but some good names on there if you look at the team list. And yeah, it's just such a shame that it had to be Gary Hooper that got the winner.
Oh, mate, I was actually standing in the Blackfriars end. Do you remember that stand? It's actually where you're standing right now, actually.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
used
I'm
to
in
be a
it.
stand there. So I was
So,
there back in the day when I was a youth. I think I was about 15 then. And Gary Hooper ran right in front of me actually and celebrated, and I was heartbroken. I was absolutely heartbroken. I was like, the man who helped us score 12 goals last season, get us into League One, and now he's scoring against us. You should be in a white shirt, my friend. Really good that we lost him, but what an amazing player.
mm,
Scunthorpe actually that season got promoted to the Championship, and we went back down to League Two. So our journeys at both clubs have been on really interesting kind of, you know, Really, really interesting journey to the last few years.
Mm.
Nick Chadwick put us in front actually from the spot. I think it was his debut. Matty Dunn, you remember him? He got fouled
Mhm.
in the area, he converted. And then sadly, it's the same old story where last season we couldn't hold on to the lead and then we ended up losing 2-1. And you said there's some really interesting players in that lineup that year. Darren Randolph, he went on to play for the Republic of Ireland, went into the
Mhm.
Premier League as well, I think, didn't he?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Hudson-Odoi, he's actually the brother of Callum. I want to say, is it Callum? Well, he was Bradley Hudson-Odoi, but he's the brother of Callum Hudson-Odoi at Chelsea.
That's the one.
There's a really interesting link there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We had Carl Broadhurst. I liked Carl Broadhurst. I think he was a great defender, great
Yeah,
centre back. Got that goal against Leicester on the sort of 28th of December, middle of Christmas fixture away up there. You know, Chrissy Taylor was a great player. Ben Smith, absolute legend.
he was a bad defenseman.
Tumani Diagoruga, another great player. Someone who obviously we signed from Watford, and and then we sold him for some good money. It's a shame again. Good player, and imagine we've been able to hold on to some of these lads. As you said, Matty Dunn, great player. Um,
He went into the championship, didn't he? I think he had a good spell with maybe Barnsley. It was. Um,
could be-
Correct me if I'm wrong with that, but well, I look at our squad, really good players there, but I think they were weaker than that League Two promotion winning squad.
yeah,
I think that
yeah,
League Two team would have beat this one. I
mm,
think it was maybe because there's so many loan signings,
yeah, it was,
we
yeah,
weren't able to keep them permanent. And
yeah,
then, going into this league, salaries get higher, you know, really, really tough. So, really interesting journeys, as I said. Scunthorpe went into the championship and now they're in the National League North. So it's been a bit of a culture
mm,
shock, should we say, for them as well as us.
yeah, yeah. I think you said it earlier, mate. It is odd our journeys really because as you say they went up to the championship and then we went down to League Two and then we were only there for a few years and obviously went down to the conference and then out of business and we've built ourselves back up. Whereas they sort of hung around in the football league for a while and then all of a sudden just had that absolute nosedive and obviously now they've been in this league now for a couple of seasons and so and are they going to go up this season? Um, Possibly not. So look, I think it was an odd season, that League One season. We played some great sides, Leeds and Leicester, Huddersfield. It was a weird group of teams, and then you had Hereford. No wonder we went down, really.
And if you were at the game, do let us know if you had any particular memories of it, any games against Scunthorpe previously, and let us know what your predictions are too for Saturday, or even some of the upcoming games like Kidderminster or Leamington. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And maybe we'll see. What did you say? Was it 5-0 against Kidderminster? Let's see if anyone backs Tom with that scoreline. But that was a really enjoyable pod today, mate.
I can't see that. Yeah, yeah,
Really enjoyable pod. Thank you so much for the last year. It's been a privilege to be doing this with you.
yeah.
Um,
And you, mate, and you.
Absolutely unbelievable. And we hope, to keep delivering these podcasts regularly every 2 weeks in the
Hmm.
upcoming year too. And we're really excited as we get into the kind of, back end of the season now. When
Yeah.
we're into the second half and, these games start to really matter now. Every point makes a difference. So
Hmm.
here we are.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting. It's very exciting, mate. Good luck at Scunthorpe on Saturday. I hope we win. Hope you have a good time. Don't drink too much and don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. See you later, everyone.
See ya. Bye bye.